Perfect. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in for this How to Crack Big Four Articleship session. And let me welcome Yash Vijay, Karthik Bansal, and Soumya Garg. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in on a Sunday morning. Very, very happy and excited to have all of you here. Perfect. I think you are on mute. Uh,
Hello.
yeah, perfect.
Are we
Yeah.
audible?
Are we audible right now, Kushal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Thank
first of
you. It's our
all, thanks,
privilege.
Kushal,
Yeah.
for inviting us.
Yeah.
Yep,
It's our
always
privilege.
always like very happy to have you here. And of course, like guys, all of them, like Karthik and Yash are from Delhi, by the way. And we had met in the management development program. And that is something which I really cherish, the memories which are there. And these two are very good when it comes to communication skills. तो जो भी मैंने सीखा है आज मैं जैसे जैसे बात कर पा रहा हूँ तुम सबके साथ इन दोनों से सीखा है मैंने इंटरव्यूज कैसे क्रैक करना
Arey,
है
Too
don't
much,
be so
Kushal.
modest, bhai.
Yeah.
No, nothing like it. But before I think we'll start off, right? So what we can do, I just have a few poll questions, guys, for all the audience who are there. Help us understand that how many of you have given your intermediate exam in November 2023 or May 2023. So I'll just request Shab from my team to just start the poll, please, and we can just take the answers as well, so we get to know our audience more in a very clear manner. Okay. Oh wow, 95% of the audience has given exams in November 2023. There are 4% of people who have given exams in May 2023 as well.
Almost
Perfect.
many of them are awaiting the result,
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
seems.
Yeah. So I think 95% of the batch is going to wait for the results. Results are going to be announced either like in the week of 5th to 10th January. So that is something which they are waiting for. Perfect. I think we'll go on to the next poll. Oh, by the way, we also have Soumya here. Soumya, welcome, and thank you so much for taking out time for this particular session. Very excited to have you as well.
Hey, thanks, Kushal. Thanks for inviting and looking forward to this conversation and helping in any manner possible.
Likewise, thanks so much. Perfect. So we'll go on to the next question, guys. Wanted to understand what are your timings of, let's say, what are your result expectations? So I know this is a tricky question. Let me just ask, like, what are the result expectations of all of you? Positive, negative, देखते हैं कितने लोग optimistic है और कितने लोग pessimist है and all of that. Let's see. Oh wow, we have a very super optimistic batch here, which is very good actually. Okay, so 94% of them are saying positive, 6% of them are saying negative. जो लोग negative बोल रहे हो तो I think तुम्हारा भी मतलब positive हो ही जाएगा, don't worry. मेरा भी मेरे को लगता था मैं fail हो जाऊंगा, but गलती से rank ही आ गया exam में.
And the consistent rank throughout, huh?
No.
Yeah.
वो तो आ गया है. ठीक है, cool guys. I think this is also clear about the poll. Next is where are you seeking articleship post your results? So let me know on that as well, and accordingly we'll moderate the panel discussion. So where are you seeking your articleship? Wow, everyone wants to get into Big Four only. I think ये panel उनको काफी help करने वाला है. So we have 83% of them saying Big Four, and 17% of saying mid-sized firm. So this is going to be a skewed discussion towards Big Four, and this will really help us to drive our conversation better. Perfect. Let's take the last couple of questions, guys, before we move on to the panel discussion. What are your OC timings and IT timings? If you can just let us know that. That is also something which we wanted to check, and this will also help us in order to understand what exactly are you doing right now and what exactly would you want to do. Perfect. So I think that's a mixture of answers here. And thank you so much for this participation, by the way. Almost out of 435 people, all of you are actively participating in the session. This means a lot. So I think that's it as far as the poll questions are concerned. Thank you so much. Means a lot. We won't go ahead with the next last poll question. I think that's similar only. So firstly, let's start off with a quick round of introduction of our guests today. So we'll move in alphabetical order. So Karthik, then Soumya, then Yash. Why don't you guys start introducing yourselves, and then we can take the further questions forward.
Sure. Thanks, Kushal. Thanks for the poll questions. Just gave us an insight on the audience that what exactly is our audience that we are addressing to. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Karthik Bansal. I did my articleship from Ernst& Young, EY, Gurgaon location. And before that, I did my graduation from Ansraj College, Delhi University. So my articleship was under the indirect taxation domain. Basically, it revolved around GST, foreign tax policies, export, import, SEZs, etc. And after qualification, I gave my attempt in November 19. I secured a All India rank 46, and hence I met Kushal at MDP program, which was then held for rank holders. And we all met there. And after my qualification, I did 2 years at EY only post qualification in the profile of consultant in the indirect taxation. And in December 21, I quit EY to start my own practice. And currently, I'm building my own practice from scratch. And it is a multidisciplinary practice, specialization in GST and handling all sort of work a CA can do. So that is about me in short.
Got very interesting, guys. One quick update or one quick correction from my side. Whenever you are introducing, tell us something which is not there in your resume also. Some other side or something which you would want to highlight. So yeah, Karthik, you can start.
Yeah, sure. So, other than resume, I guess this was a professional audience that
Yeah.
I was addressing to. So, I thought this might
No,
be
it's
the
fine.
things that
It's fine.
Kushal
that
has
may
already
interest them.
started with the interview
And
questions for all
Yeah.
of us, huh?
Kushal is
yeah.
trying to put us on spot.
So, other than that, I'm a person who lives life. I like to travel. I like to see life as a whole and not only a professional obligation to live upon. So that was one of the reasons I quit EY. So basically, that is not a sign or a advisory to go out of corporate, but that was my outlook for life. So I wanted to allocate time to each and every element of life, whether it is
Right.
fitness, whether it is traveling, whether reading, writing, etc. So this is about me. I see a holistic approach towards life, and this is surely not in my resume. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
Soumya, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Soumya. I'll just go in a chronological order. So I am from Lucknow, born and brought up there, did my schooling there. Then I moved to Delhi for my graduation from Shri Ram College of Commerce. Stayed 3 years in Delhi, did my graduation, gave my IPCC along with graduation, got All India rank 41. Then then I had a choice of doing an article. Then I had to think through doing an articleship from a big four or somewhere else, maybe back in Lucknow or some other from Delhi. But I chose doing it from a big four, so I did it from Deloitte Gurgaon. The profile was statutory audit. I stayed another 3 years in Gurgaon, gave my finals along with the articleship. Again, got rank 41. So surprisingly, IPCC and final had the same rank. While opening the final result, I really thought I've opened my IPCC result by mistake. But it worked out. So got my finals rank. Then we went to the MDP program, as Kushal and Kartik were also mentioning. Met there a bunch of talented folks, had a great network. And then I finally joined Procter and Gamble. So I'm right now based out of Goa at a plant location of Procter and Gamble. I'm here as a senior manager in the finance profile. So yes, 1.5 years in Goa. Prior to that, I was in the Bombay office. Looking forward to this connect. And yes, one thing which Kushal tried and asked us was, I really like dancing. I enjoy, and whosoever is with me, I feel it is an obligation to pull that person also into dancing. So I try to influence and encourage people to dance.
Got it. So if anyone is going for clubbing with Soumya, then you have to end up dancing. Otherwise, you won't
Yes.
be able to survive.
Yes.
We can see the link of the Goa vibes and the dancing, huh?
Yeah.
Soumya?
That's a good one, actually. That's a good one. Cool, Soumya. I think one common thing between the both of us is that we have same ranks in inter and final. I could resonate with you very well when you mentioned that when you opened the final mark sheet, you thought inter ka hi mark sheet again. So
Correct.
that was the same thing even which I felt when I opened my CA final mark sheet.
Super.
Perfect. So Yash, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Kushal. First of all, I hope all of you are doing good and enjoying a great Sunday morning, especially the people in Delhi. It's quite sunny over here. And my name is Yash. Me and Karthik's profile is quite similar in the sense that Both of us had the same college. We did our graduation from Hansraj College, and we are the batchmates over there. I pursued through IPCC in the college only and got an All India rank 47 over there. Then the struggle for articleship started, gave many interviews, and then finally I thought it through that PwC is the right choice. So I go ahead with the PwC in the domain of statutory audit in Gurgaon itself. Worked there for 3 years and did my and then attended my final. Got an All India rank 44. Unfortunately, not the same rank as that of Kushan and Soumya, but it's fine, nearby. Yeah. So got an All India rank 44. After that, I also pursued my CFA, cleared through all my levels of CFA. And after my articleship stint, I did 2 years work profile in Hero MotoCorp as an associate manager in the research and development department of Hero MotoCorp in Jaipur itself. So whereby I was looking majorly the valuations and the forecast of the future upcoming models, how good it is for the company in terms of its cash flows and cash outflows. So after that, I left Hero MotoCorp last year, and again, similar to Karthik, I did my own practice. I'm currently doing CA practice in Noida itself, and looking majorly in the field of RERA. And apart from that, I'm also looking majorly in the field of project consultancy, whereby getting the land allotted for some of the nearby areas for industrial applications, apart from the traditional domain of GST and income tax. When it comes to telling something else about me, it's that I really like playing tennis a lot. Trek enthusiast also. I completed quite a few treks in the last 1 year. And I believe that maintaining a balance throughout your life, both in terms of work as well as extracurricular activities, is very important. It will give you a holistic picture, holistic development of you going forward. And looking forward to this enthusiastic webinar today. And thanks, Kushal, once all. And looking forward with my co-panelists in that. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Yash, for that quick intro. Really appreciate the granularity. And guys, if anyone wants to do trekking and all, please reach out to Yash Vijay. I'll just drop his LinkedIn ID also and reach out to him and just message him that where is the next trek being planned. So you guys can just coordinate with him. So cool. I think let's get down to some serious discussion now. बहुत ज़्यादा मस्ती हो गया है. So we'll start off about the main topic. Like people are here who want to understand how to get into articleship for a big four. So I think we can start off with first thing. Let's take it in a sequential manner. So let's talk more about like firstly how do you find these opportunities? What was your journey? And then we'll talk about the interview process before we jump into the work profile which was there at Big Four. So maybe Karthik, if you want to start off. So how was your entire experience right from finding the opportunities to giving an interview and finally getting an offer from one of the Big Fours?
Yeah, sure. So I guess my and Yash experience would be similar in this question because we both graduated from Hansraj College. So we were doing a regular college for our graduation. So basically during the last semester in the third year, the Big Fours themselves approach these colleges, which are highly accredited, some top-notch 4 or 5 colleges of DU, and they officially get into the placement cell and they officially shortlist the students who are pursuing CA along with BCom who have cleared their IPCC. And there is an entire formal process that they conduct in association with the placement cell of the colleges. So basically, my personal experience was that the Big Fours arrived, and not only Big Four, other firms also appearing in Big 20 follow with the placement cells, and then we enter into a formal process with them. The first level of shortlisting happens in the college, and then you formally go to their place, the office places of the Big Fours, and then the entire process goes on. Other than that, if someone is not doing a regular college, I have seen with my colleagues, with my friends, they can first of all use LinkedIn, the HR profiles of the Big Fours, who regularly post about the upcoming vacancies, and this is around the time of result only, and mostly after the results are announced. So LinkedIn plays a very major role. And second, I would say from my personal experience, references. You have to find people in the Big Four like us, like your friends, like your seniors, and just put a word in their ear that we are looking for an articleship in the Big Four, and references play a major role in hiring process. So the reference won't ensure a vacancy, a placement in the Big Four, but that will for sure ensure a call from the HR. and then the process depends upon your candidature and how skillful you are. So this was my
So
personal
one quick
experience
question
about
here. So how do you, let's say, build that reference? For example, if I come from a city where I don't have any network as such, so for an
yeah.
individual like me, how do I make that network? How do I make that reference? How do I reach out? Anything on that?
Yeah, so again, I would recommend social media, LinkedIn. You just search EY, Big Four, Articleship. You just use the keywords around that and just put a personalized message to the person. And in my personal experience, no one is unhelpful. They are willing to help if the person is serious, if the other person is serious. So just put out a heartfelt, personalized message to them that this is my skill set and I really am eager to join Big Four, and I would like to use just a reference of yours, which would cost them a minute or two of their life. And I would like to use a reference of yours, and that would just help me in building my entire career. So, in the age of social media, living in a small town or in a third tier or second tier city, that is the only way out. And the seminars like these, the physical seminars, the online seminars, you can join this,
Yeah,
and then you can follow with the guest panel or the host that this was the thing I found useful, and can you connect me with that person?
correct.
So these are the things that you can use, I guess.
Yeah, super helpful. I think makes a lot of sense. Maybe I think Soumya, you can talk about your experience of getting an articleship at Deloitte, and how did you find the opportunity?
Correct. So I think the starting was similar, as Karthik was also mentioning. When we are in, especially in Delhi University, I'm not very sure about other colleges. There is a standard placement cell through which we get articleship opportunities. So after the IPCC result came out, EY and PwC were the first ones to come to the campus. Unfortunately, at that point in time, Deloitte did not come for campus hiring for articleship. I'm not sure if it comes now or not, but they were always from an they followed an offline method of hiring. So I firstly tried via the college placement cell for EY. PwC was coming at a later rate, but I tried for EY. So they had a limited set of vacancy, and they were coming majorly for the taxation profile, which I was not honestly looking at. So audit profile had very few vacancies, and which already got filled by the time I had a chance to interview. So I could not get in into EY through the college placement. So I had in mind that I had talked to a few seniors in college and a few of my school seniors who had gone to these firms for articleship. Somehow Deloitte experience and the clients which it had sounded nice to me, and I had in my mind that let me try for Deloitte as well. So again, I had to go through the offline mode. As Karthik mentioned, went on LinkedIn, searched Deloitte. So जब भी आप search करते हो, there is a list of employees that comes in now, people who are working in that company. So people usually in their intro lines at LinkedIn write what is their role and what are they working at. So I searched people who were either managers or associates in the audit profile, or who were already article trainees at Deloitte. So with people who had this filter in their intro, I message them on LinkedIn, ki, hey, I'm in SRCC looking for an opportunity in Deloitte. And usually after the results come out, there are huge vacancies which come in all the big fours. So even the big fours internally, the HR send an email to the article trainees if they want to refer somebody. So LinkedIn at that point in time gets very strategic. If you approach right people, then you have the opportunity in hand. So just give them a brief intro of yours. What have you been working on? What have you studied? What was your rank, if any, or what were your qualifications in the CA results till date? Then you just message them that you're looking for help. And as Karthik was mentioning, nobody would not want to help. Everybody wants to help, and because all organizations today look for talent. If you are the right talent for them, there is no reason they would, not uh, see your LinkedIn message, or they would not really refer you within the organization. So people helped in, a lot of people replied also. See, 100% people would not reply, but there's a good success rate, especially if you message article trainees already working then. Because these people also keep on frequently checking LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So got a reply from a lot of people referred, and finally I got a call from the Deloitte HR that XYZ person referred to you, and are you still looking for an opportunity in Deloitte? So by that time, PwC hadn't come to the campus, EY could not get through. So Deloitte was a choice, and I had in my mind also somehow that I want to go to Deloitte. So I told the HR that yes, it would be a great opportunity. It started with a test link. There was a short test which came through. Qualified that test, then there was a group discussion for which we had to go to the corporate office of Deloitte in Cyber City. Now that experience was great. For a person who did the schooling in Lucknow, went to college and never been to a corporate office, going to a corporate office, figuring out, that time going into a corporate cyber park was something very new. Just entering into the Gurgaon city, seeing people, in formals, just walking by, someone on laptop, some are taking meetings. The experience was surreal. So you go there and you already realize, look, it's a big deal, and you have to put in that effort to be here. So prepared nicely, cracked the GD, then again went for the interview and got hired.
Can you tell us about what type of questions are asked in the online assessment test and even in the GDs?
In the online assessment test, it was very simple accounting questions, like basic. They would give you a problem, calculate depreciation. Some were simple quantitative series as well. Very basic questions. I would say it was very easy to qualify. Then the GD was a little abstract. Like for me, the question was red is the new blue. This was my GD topic. What is this? So some topics were abstract. And when I checked with the other few friends, they had got technical topics as well. That some got, how do you think the accounting standards have evolved over the years? So it depends on which group you fall in and what topic you
So
get.
in the case of red is the new blue, like I mean, even I'm confused here. Like, what kind of answers or what kind of discussion happens usually?
So I connected it with the ongoing violence and the wars in the world. So I said like the water bodies are blue. Usually the sky is blue, but because of the ongoing wars and violence, people are shedding blood, and somehow the water bodies are turning red. So I linked it that way. I somehow thought of an idea that time. Other people also.
It's commendable, but yeah, I mean, I couldn't have thought of this idea as such.
Yeah, so you can also, in fact, before going into the GD, put on Google abstract GD topics. So you will get in a lot of topics there as well for preparedness. But yes, you have to think on spot and just take the first or the second spot at the GD. I think that helps a lot because otherwise the discussion just carries on. And another trick for GD, which I learned in that GD itself, was when you don't know the answer, just wait for everybody to speak, collect your thoughts, and speak at the last with the best points.
True.
And give a closing remark. That also works fably.
But isn't that repetition then? Like you're just repeating the points.
You pick up points important, and then of course, when you pick points, you can add yours as well. But your statement becomes so powerful, and you become the concluder of that statement, and in that the moderator can also see your leadership power of concluding what all other people have said or summarizing. So I think that helps. Sometimes it always doesn't work. Sometimes some people may look at it as repetition, but it helps as well. It helped my friend. My friend summarized all the points, concluding it like a leader, and just went through.
Got it. Very interesting. I think these questions are fascinating. Right.
In GD, I also followed this technique that just pounce upon the introduction line that you are the first one to start, and just make sure that you give the best conclusion. That you make such a remark that everyone agrees, yeah, this was the conclusion of GD. But as Soumya mentioned, this trick is not a 100% guaranteed trick because I remember in our MDP interviews, I sat for Britannia's interview. And I just gave a fabulous GD. I just spoke the introduction, all the points. And I thought, okay, bhai, Britannia, to it done. Okay, I'm joining Britannia. And the GD shortlisting list came, and I was like, they told the person who was shortlisted, and I wasn't there. So I rechecked with them that are these the person shortlisted or are these the one who are rejected? And they tell these are the shortlisted. And I was like, no, this trick doesn't work every time. And but mostly it helps. It just tells how your leadership skills are and how well you are in summarizing the entire discussion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Agree.
And Karthik, remember for a long period of time, we thought that GD is all about saying your point of view, putting yourself first.
Yeah.
But later, over a period of time, I realized that it's more of a collaborative discussion that should
Yes,
happen,
yes.
whereby you are giving chance to everyone else to speak also. So make
Yeah.
sure that whenever you are having a part in GD, don't be so much enthusiastic that you put
Yes.
yourselves all over it. Let other persons also speak, because that shows collaboration, and that's a major
Yes.
aspect that
Yes.
firms are looking into.
Right. I think
You
they are
have
also
to act
testing
as a
active
team
listening,
player
right?
there. You just can't keep on speaking your point. You
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
listen to others as well.
I
Listening is
realized
very
that
important
the
in
hard
GD
way.
too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Yes, maybe you can throw some light on how was your interview experience at the interviews, like at PwC specifically, and if you can break it down by round wise, what kind of questions were asked, that will be helpful.
Yeah, sure, question. So, similarly to Karthik, uh, through campus placements also, I was selected in the PwC. But majorly, many people in this chat have mentioned that please also tell about the non-college
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
how they can actually pursue. So, I would probably take it from that perspective, because college aspect has already been taken care by both Karthik and Soumya. So, for the non-college people, I would really think that one of the ways that Soumya and Karthik both of us mentioned is to reach out to as many people as you know in that specific organization through LinkedIn. If you have the mail ID, or if you can get the mail ID of that concerned person, write a mail, write a elevator pitch about yourselves, in short about yourselves, and provide a resume also. Make sure that you use your OC and ITD training very fruitfully in this, because in the OC also, I remember that there are so many points that which can learn in the terms of interview, in terms of GD, how you have to organize yourselves, how have you to communicate yourselves, and make sure that you use your network. So especially for the people in small town who don't have that much network with themselves, what they can do probably is that they can do their OC or ITD training from a big city, like from Delhi, Mumbai, Gurgaon itself. Connect with like-minded people. Probably you will get to know, get in touch with some people who have some connects in Big Four, and through them you can get your reference done in the Big Four also. Most probably find out some people, either your seniors or someone from your coachings, in the CA coachings, whereby someone is doing any articleship from a Big Four. Try connecting with them. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to also tell you, it's not only Big Four. Even if you crack a good mediocre firm also, whereby you will get a good learning of all the aspects of auditing, taxation, it will be a very fruitful and a conclusive experience that you will have in the articleship also. So just Big Four is not the last resort, I would say. There are other options beyond Big Four. Even if you don't get into Big Four, go for industrial training for the last 1 year. You will get the exposure same as that of a Big Four that you will get. And now coming back to my interview questions, which Kushal has asked me, they were in the first round. We have a small psychological test whereby they have assessed what is our pattern of thinking, what is our pattern of behavior, how we'll respond. So make sure you are being all ethical in that.
What kind of
Don't
questions? Can you give examples?
Yeah, so basically they asked regarding, they have given a certain case study, and let's say the case study is that you think you have to do this thing you have to do this particular nature of assignment for this particular client, but you are indifferent with your behavior with that of a manager. So how will you communicate that to your manager or to your senior in that respective field? That is what is important. Communication is very important. So make sure that you mention your discussion or what you think very keenly in that also. So that is the first test that they have took us. Then the technical analysis, technical test that they have took, whereby they have tested our IPCC knowledge in terms of accounting standards, in terms of taxation, in terms of GST also, indirect taxation also. So make sure you have a good hold on all the accounting standards, especially if you are applying for a articleship and statutory audit, because you will be keenly observed in how will you do a particular accounting treatment. Similarly, if you are applying for a articleship in field of taxation, specifically indirect taxation or direct taxation, make sure that you have a good knowledge of that specific subject. Because most importantly, the questions will be directed in the specific department you will be applying for. So if it's an articleship for taxation, make sure that you have a good hold on taxation. If it's for auditing, then make sure that you have a good knowledge of accounting standards and or auditing standards also. Then apart from that, the final round is that of an interview, whereby they assess both your communication skills, your soft skills, as well as your technical knowledge. So make sure that, and it's the last part, and don't be disheartened at any point of time if you are not selected. Look for other opportunities. There are multiple opportunities. Even in the big fours, there are different departments where you can apply. And apart from the big fours, there are also mediocre firms. So don't be disheartened that there are limited vacancies in the big four and their applicants are so much. At the end of the day, only some will get it. That's the reality. But apply for it. That's what you can do the max.
Yeah, I agree. And anything on the resume part, like once you, let's say, send the resume to the HR, as you guys mentioned that if you have the email ID, just send the resume and all. So how can one prepare a very articulative and very crisp resume? Because all of these people are inter students, so usually they won't have any work experience. So how do you make a very clean and crisp resume without having any work experience?
So for that specifically, I take back the MDP training that we had, some Karavan,
Yeah.
for the one-page interview, for the one-page resume. So make sure that whatever the achievements you have, your resume is limited to one page itself, because the interviewer would not spend more than 5 minutes looking into it. So make sure that you highlight the key important achievements or the position of responsibilities that you have in the entire career, in the entire past that you have, be it in school, be it in college, be it in a hostel, as in case of Kushal, be it in coachings, or where you have volunteered somewhere, have you have done internships somewhere. So mention all of that. And apart from that, your educational background, what was your achievements academically in class 10th, in class 12th, in college also, if you have done it. Then what was your IPCC performance? How many distinctions have you got? In how many subjects? Mention all of that, but in a very crisp manner. And keep something which is very important to you apart from your resume also, that if the question asks, tell me something about tell me something about yourself which is not there in resume, you have a good and a valid answer to that also. So make sure that you don't put your 100% all achievements, all positions of responsibility in that. Keep it crisp, which is important, and apart from that, have something also in mind. So that is what is important.
Right, makes sense. And I think adding on to what you said in terms of resume also, just one point is that maybe I wanted to ask you guys as well. Like, is it recommended to put a professional photograph in the resume? Is it mandatory, or what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think it is mandatory. It is solely a personal choice. If you want to put it, won't do any harm. And matlab, it is not a very big thing, I would say. But coming to the photograph and in general, I would recommend using a professional format for the resume. I on the hiring side, I have seen it from the other side also now in my practice and during my time at EY also. I see resumes with different font size, with different alignment, with different formats, which gives a very bad first impression because I know the person only through the resume till that point of time. So that speaks about the person who is coming. So use a tabular format, using a professional format, similar font size, a good heading, good subheadings, and a bullet points or formatting. That goes a long way in telling what the person is about, who is coming for the interview. Because resume is your first impression. So that I would strongly recommend. And yeah.
Got it.
That
And
is
apart,
right, I think.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
Soumya, you can
Shruti, go on.
continue.
Okay. You go on.
Okay, so I was just mentioning, even if you don't have a photograph on the resume, and if you can either on the mail or somewhere else, you can provide a link to your LinkedIn profile also.
Yes.
That works in the same manner because at the end of the day, you are having a photograph on the LinkedIn profile. So it works the same. It is not mandatory to put that on a resume, I believe.
And
Correct. I have
adding to
also
this
not
point,
put
yeah,
my photograph on the resume. I've not seen also a lot of people honestly putting it. I also did short time recruitment thing in PNG as well, and whatever CVs we got, I could not see many who have put photographs. But at the end of the day, it's a personal choice as well. If you
Yeah.
really want to put it, then go ahead. But if you are putting it, put a professional one. Do not put a fancy photograph. And yes, overall resume should highlight your qualities as well, and maybe from the extracurricular section, or if you have done anything in the social side as well, like if you have been a part of any NGO, if you have done anything at a school level as well, if you have been part of donation drives, just put that across in the resume and try to bring out or highlight qualities out of that. Like maybe you led a team of say 10 other school friend of yours for a donation drive. So just do not write was a part of donation drive. If you have actually led it, write the fact that you led the team of say 10 students. So it also comes out to the other person that you, because ultimately organizations are looking for out for future leaders, right? They do not just want you for the articleship period. They're looking at you as a future leader in their organization. So if you bring that leadership skills visibility to the recruiter, then it also helps. And bring out qualities, bring out the soft skills that you have also in the resume somehow. Of course, not directly putting them that I have efficient communication as a soft skill, but try to put some experiences which will give out or which will highlight these qualities, because that is also something which matters a lot to the recruiter. Because you, if you have other academic qualification, that is speaking in itself for that, look, you have brains and you will do a great job. But getting or highlighting the soft part, soft qualities in the resume is also very critical.
Yeah, Karthik, you were saying something.
I would like to add a point. Apart from the physical resume, I would request everyone to build their digital resume as well, which is your LinkedIn profile. So once you message or email anyone for reference, or you put your LinkedIn ID on your resume, it is most likely that they will give it a click and visit your LinkedIn profile. So that shouldn't be a blank profile. That only your name is appearing and there is no photograph, no introduction, nothing in the education, nothing in the experience. So whatever you are putting in resume, just ensure that you are putting it on LinkedIn as well, because the someone who is referring you in your in any big four firm, they also have an accountability that what quality of references they are giving. So no one would like to give a reference which is not worth the opportunity. So that person will also ensure that before referring, he gives a quick check on the person. And for the quick check, your profile speaks a lot. So focus on your LinkedIn profile as well, because we are living in a digital age. So we cannot ignore that aspect, that we will focus only on our physical resume and we will put it out that way. Your digital resume is equally important. So
Yeah.
just focus on that equally.
Yeah, very good point. I think there's also one question in the chat box. Mukul Gupta has asked to show us a sample resume. So, guys, towards the end, I have like a sample resume prepared for you. So maybe once the session is over, I'll share my screen and I'll show it to all of you. How can you like create a professional resume? Coming to one of the most important questions, also, I wanted to ask, like, do these attempts really matter for doing an articleship in Big Four? I was speaking to few HRs as well, and some HRs mentioned that both groups are preferred in first attempt, or even like some were saying that if one group is given before and one group is given later, we don't want these kind of candidates. But what's your overall take on this, about the number of attempts? Do they matter a lot?
Uh, Social, I believe it's an unfortunate reality that at the end of the day, attempts do matter. The number of attempts that you have taken, whether while you have gone through both the groups in a one single attempt or done it group wise, and it does matter. It does give you an edge if you're a first attempt or a rank holder, but that in itself is not the only thing. Apart from it, communication and how you present yourselves and how good is your technical knowledge. So at the end of the day, technical knowledge is not only assessed by the exams that you're giving, it is also assessed by how good conceptual knowledge you have. So you are able to explain yourself well in the interviews. So it is not a mandatory checkbox to take in. It is a good go ahead, but it is not mandatory, according to me.
Yeah, I totally agree with Yash, because from the HR point of view also, we have to think from both point of view. The HRs receive a high number of applications, so they need a uniform filter to filter the applications, because they don't have the time and energy to go through every CV, go through every application. So as Yash mentioned, it is the hard reality. The attempts and the rank for sure is not a mandatory requirement, but it gives a kickstart to your application, that these are the candidates that they would prefer upon. But obviously, as Yash mentioned, your technical knowledge is the primary thing. Once you land up on the interview, the attempts or the rank doesn't matter. The things that you speak, the technical knowledge that you have is totally the sole criteria that your decision is based upon. And I would like to add upon the interview thing. Don't treat the interviewer as an enemy or someone who is sitting there to reject you. He is your friend, and before you, he has the requirement to fulfill the job opportunity at the at the firm. The firm has pressure on him that you have to bring good candidates, and his role is only to ensure that the candidate is well versed with what he has written in his resume, and he knows the technical skill set. So just focus upon your IPCC curriculum. Nothing would be questioned outside that curriculum. You have to have a strong hold on your curriculum that will for sure ensure your employment at the Big Four.
Correct, and I agree. It's not mandatory, and to add on, sometimes these at least the big fours, when they release their application forms, they take it as an input. Whether you are how many, when did you give your first attempt, when did you give the second, was it in the first, was it cleared in the first attempt or not? So what happens is that these become an important qualifying criteria. So once you are in the interview, as Karthik mentioned, nothing matters. But these do become an important qualifying criteria. So yes, it is critical, but also not the end of the world.
Yes.
Sometimes the big fours also are not very, fuzzed on कि सिर्फ first attempt वाले ही लेने हैं या rank वाले ही लेने हैं. But yes, if they have major applications where they have the first attempt cleared people, then from a qualifying standpoint, they might limit their qualifications to those people. But then if you do qualify from that, once you go into the interview, the floor is yours. You do your best in the interview. And even if you were not clear, if you had not cleared in the first attempt, you would get in if you rock your interview.
Right.
So look at it from a qualifying criteria standpoint versus, you being selected in that organization on the basis of that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a very good point, I think. There's also one question here in the chat box, and I also wanted to ask that. So now the entry point is to have that online assessment test, right? And let's say someone who's not from a college and all, how can they also get access to this test in the sense if they want to apply? So how can they get to know कि okay ऐसा कोई test हो रहा है, we can also apply? Is there any awareness which can be given to them? Any idea on that?
That test comes to you when the HR when somebody has probably referred you
Okay.
from the offline mode, and then the HR has reached
Yeah.
out, are you interested? Then the link comes in. So being in a college or not doesn't really matter
Yeah.
for the test, getting the test link at least. Somebody referring you in the organization or you directly applying on the career portal, that is what matters for getting the test link.
But if you apply directly on the careers portal, like even I had done, is there like a case where these guys really have a look at the section because like they would be getting thousands of applications if I'm not wrong on the career section.
They do. And
They do,
mostly
Kaushal, they
the
do.
test
Yeah.
links are automatic.
Hmm.
So if you are applying to a career portal or if somebody has referred you and people are considering your application, via an automated mail, you will get a test link. So I think test link is something which everybody gets in.
Got it.
Yeah.
Fair. Cool. Perfect. Let's talk about the pros and cons of Big Fours now. Let's also give a very fair understanding to our audience in terms of what are the perks and what are the drawbacks as well of working in companies like EY, PwC, and Deloitte. So maybe Karthik, you can take the pros, or maybe one can take a pros, one can take the cons, or however you want to structure it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
let's
sure.
talk about the both the sides of the articleship.
Yeah, so obviously goes without saying the pros outweigh the cons of doing articleship from Big Four. So basically, just see it from that point of view. You are pursuing a course, CA course, and the cream of this profession is the Big Fours, the top qualified CAs, specifically doing consultancy. There might be entrepreneurs or in practice, but in consultancy, Big Fours are the cream of this profession. So at the early stage of your profession, sitting with the best professionals of your industry goes a long way. And the minute points, the professionalism, the people you sit around, the clients, the professional etiquettes, the knowledge sessions of Big Four, the trainings, and every effort that they put to nurture the employees, especially the articles, because articles are the youngest members of the organization in the Big Four. So they really put efforts to nurture the articles. And I would really say that the pros are really outweighing the cons for the Big Fours. And in the long term, I don't know. It totally depends on the personal choice of the person. Like I would like to give an example. If you train your body to run 10 kilometer or 21 kilometer, so running 4 to 5 kilometer would seem like a easier task. Similarly, if you train your professional body to do the hard work that a Big Four expects at the early stage of your career, then any path that you choose in future, whether it may be practice, a business or a industry job or continuing the Big Four only, everything would seem doable or easy. That is the biggest takeaway that I have taken from a Big Four, that it trains you till the extreme, till the highest hard work that you can do. And that really is the biggest pro that I have taken from my Big Four articleship. And obviously there are cons also, and I guess other members can take that away.
Soumya, is better to take the con part, huh, Soumya?
No,
Soumya,
I'll take
I
both.
know the real
I
hard
guess
struggles of
we
Soumya.
all know the cons, and
Yeah.
obviously every aspect has a black and white element to it. So yeah.
And I think the pros and cons also depend on what you do next, honestly. Because I'll tell you my thing. I did the stat audit profile at Deloitte. So if I was to go for starting a practice, joining a Big Four could have been a con for me, because I am not aware how taxation works. I am not aware of the intricacies of, say, international tax or anything. So that would have been a con for me. So it really depends on what you have in mind. If you have thought of, see, it's also early to think of what you want to do next while choosing the articleship from a Big Four or not. But if you have already thought through, then you can assess the pros and cons that way. Because it really depends. If I would have thought of starting the practice, I would have never gone to a Big Four, because I don't think I would have got that varied skill sets or experience that is needed for starting a practice by working in a Big Four. But it worked out for me, because I did not start a practice. I went to PNG in the corporate finance role. So pros for me have been great. It has been one of the best 3 years working at Deloitte. The kind of learning and the extremes, as Karthik was mentioning, to which a Big Four pushes you to work. You don't that is the longest I would have ever worked. Maybe starting at 7, ending at 3 in the night, or there was
My God.
no time when you would end it.
You are scaring the people
You
who are
will
watching this.
demotivate
Yeah.
the
That's why.
Reality
people
which
would
they should
people would
know
feel
as
कि
well.
7 a.m. to 3 a.m. तो बहुत ज़्यादा ही हो रहा है अभी ये.
That is the reality. I think half of the people would already know.
But Soumya, it's only 1 or 2 days, I believe. It's not always all the
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
That would have been probably for the tax people, yes. Not for the audit folks.
No, I'm
The
also in the
audit-
audit, Soumya.
The audit season
Yash
goes
has
for a month
Yash has a
long.
differing viewpoint, I think.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
from a pro standpoint, it's great. I think you know how to interact with management, because you already work with the companies whom you would probably land up doing a job at. So you know people there, you know how the company is operating, you know how to behave in those kinds of environment. Plus, it gets you early visibility on how a team works, because as an article you have an associate, you have a manager who you are working with, you have a team of articles also with you who are working on an assignment. So that gives you that flavor of working in a team, having definite having sticking to your deliverables in a team, and also probably helping out others when they are not able to perform in the team assignment. So it gives you that flavor, and it really tests you to the last level, and you would learn a lot, because you would work with multiple clients, multiple industries. Like I worked with a digital banking client, I worked with a manufacturing client, I also worked with a BPO. So I am aware with this articleship that how different sectors are working. So I can also make a choice, actually, depending on that, which sector would be interesting to do a job in post the articleship.
Yeah.
So it also helps you with that on
Is
what.
Is it a con that the departmentalization concept is there? Like, for example, all the 3 years you are only in one department. Do you think that's a con?
Um,
So it won't be a con, according to me, at least being in the stat audit profile, because it gives you a flavor of everything. And you are not stick to one client. You have multiple clients over 3 years. So gives you flavor of different industries and different work processes.
Hmm.
Specifically now, Kushal, the articleship period since has been reduced to 2 years.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't believe that would be relevant anymore.
Hmm.
Because you would be doing assignments across multiple clients, and each client has its own things to handle into. Although the work profile might be the same at the end of the day, but it's different for each profile. And at one client you might be handling the client yourself, and at some other client you might be handling the client with a good team. So the experience of managing the client in itself is different. So from that perspective also, it is not monotonous at the end of the day doing work in the specific department.
Hmm. Yeah, makes sense. And yes, what about you? Like, what was the highlight, lowlight for you in your articleship?
Good offsites and good stipend
Yeah,
from
I
the
think
writing.
people were asking the stipends also, by the way, if you guys want to throw
Yeah.
some light.
So one of the best good things about articleship is that specifically at our times, if you work for a period of time which is larger than scheduled, then you get a comp ops, compensatory ops, so that you can use that compensatory ops while for the usage of studies later on or for the purpose of coachings. So that is what is very good thing that I found in Big Four, but it was lacking in mediocre firm.
Hmm.
But when I go to the mediocre firm, obviously right now in the CA practice, so from that point of view, I can tell you that working in a mediocre firm, you will get the taste of all the things, be it audit, be it taxation, be it international taxation, be it CP. So at the end of the day, have a good general knowledge of everything. But if you want to pursue in corporate only, or if you want to go in consultancy in Big Four only, then that specialization or expertise, it really comes handy. So you have to be quite clear, choosing between Big Four and mediocre in that terms also. At the longer term, what are you actually thinking about your career?
Hmm.
So from that perspective, that gives a
The stipend would be what, 15, 20, and 25,000 per month, right?
yeah,
For
it,
second
it
and third.
varies generally between Big Fours. EY, I think so, offers the highest, and yeah, and it varies according to the year also.
And I
Yeah,
think
Uh,
EY it
TPMG
was
also
15,
gives a
20, 25.
bonus or something, variable bonus or
yeah,
something, right?
they have all the perks. They have all the monetary perks with them.
Oh, I didn't know this about the monetary perks and bonus.
KPMG gives a variable bonus.
Okay, I didn't know this. And what about EY? What was the stipend at EY?
EY it was first year 15, then 20, then 25.
Okay, got it.
Deloitte was 10, 15, 20.
Same,
Got it.
same with us, PwC,
Got it.
10, 15, 20.
Got it. Karthik and Yash, specifically to the two of you. So, how has Big Four articleship helped you in setting up your own practice? So, Mukul
Yeah,
again asked a question here, so I think we'll cover that as well.
yeah. As Soumya and Yash were also mentioning, I just wanted to add on this point that I am a living example that after before I started my own practice, I don't have any industrial experience also. Straight away, I did 3 years of articleship from Big Four, 2 years post qualification at Big Four, and straight away it was my practice, and it is a first generation practice
So, you
from the
worked
scratch.
at EY only after like for 2 years?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Hmm.
So I would personally tell that my biggest clients in practice and my biggest references are from the Big Four network only. The clients that I had in Big Four gave me references of the clients that they were doing and the network, the professional network that I built in EY. The colleagues who were working with me, they only refer work to me. So I I strongly, from my personal point of view, strongly disagree that practice, if you are aiming for practice also, then a Big Four articleship is not something that you should do. The Big Four culture that I got, the hard work that I learned there to do the hard work is totally directly proportionate to the hard work that I'm doing in practice. And it really helps that the experience that I have taken from Big Four, the way I write emails, the way I draft my submissions, the way I format my submissions to the clients, and the way I interact with my clients at my client meeting, it is all from the Big Four experience that I had. So I strongly, from my own experience, would recommend everyone, whether they want to do practice, whether they want to grow in corporate, whether they want to continue Big Four after in consultancy only. the Big Four articleship won't do any harm in any sort of way. It is a very good kickstart to your professional journey. After that, 3 years or rather 2 years now is a very long time and a good time to explore the professional world around you. But the initial 2 to 3 years, I strongly recommend that Big Four has. So see, the cons are very minimal. That you won't get time to study. You won't. The working hours are very long. But from my personal experience, the majority of the rank holders are also from Big Four. So the results speak that the time and the work timings don't affect the results and the study pattern that the student is following. At the end of the day, it is on your schedule and on your planning that how you are preparing for your finals. So yeah, the cons are very minimal and the pros I strongly advocate for the Big Four, whether it is practice or industry experience.
Got it. And in terms of the entire like work profile at Big Four and all, right? People also want to know about the exit opportunities which are there, right? So practice becomes one, which I can see to the two of you. The job is also one, and I think if industrial training is done, then that's an add-on if you want to get into a job. So what are your thoughts on the exit opportunities which a person can get after they do an articleship from a Big Four firm?
I think a person
Kush,
can go anywhere after doing an articleship
yeah,
from Big
exactly.
Four.
That was I
Yeah.
was
It
saying.
opens
There is
every
no
single door for you.
limitations. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go to industry. I have been in industry. Soumya have been in industry. Then you can go to practice. Karthik have been to practice. Then you can continue with the Big Four also. You can go do that in specific department or go to some other department, F&D, and all of those things. Then probably you can work at a startup at Kushal, and so that's also a
You
sort
get
of
a
exit
job
opportunity.
security as well because the Big Fours would really absorb you. They would
Yes.
be willing to absorb you. So from a job security standpoint, it also works out excellently.
Yeah,
But then do they absorb all the articles who are there? Does like would
yeah,
it
yeah.
be?
The
Yes,
offer is
Yes,
there
yes,
for all the
they are
100% of
ready
articles.
them.
to absorb all articles.
Oh
The
wow, I
articles
Yes,
are
didn't
if
know
not
the
that.
ready to
article
be
is willing
absorbed.
to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is the average package which one can expect after they complete their articleship?
So that is, I guess, really depends on firm to firm. From my experience at EY, they the Big Fours really appreciate their articles. In my experience, so after the results came out and the articles who qualified the CA finals, they had a seminar separately for the qualified CAs, and they told the opportunities that EY in-house is providing. So the opportunities were that, like I was in indirect taxation, so they gave me an option to shift to direct taxation, to transfer pricing. For the matter of the fact, they gave me an option to transfer to audit also. And they gave me an option to transfer to interlocation also, if I have to transfer to Bangalore, Mumbai, Kolkata.
Right.
And they gave me an option to transfer to less famous disciplinaries also, like FAS, like TP, and
What is FAS
financial
and
due
what is FAS
diligence.
and TP?
So FAST is forensics audits. They detect frauds and stuff. And they gave me an option to go into financial due diligence also, FDD. So the teams that look after mergers and acquisitions, they do valuations. So the Big Fours really appreciate their articles, and the first objective of theirs is to absorb them rather than giving an option to exit. So the biggest exit option after doing articleship in Big Four is that it opens inside doors of Big Fours to the articles. They have a
And
numerous opportunities inside only.
one other opportunity, Karthik and Soumya would agree to that. If you're doing an articleship from Big Four and you're getting absorbed in Big Four itself, then you are hired at a position at a higher level than your counterpart
Yes.
who is joining
Your
the
career
firm.
trajectory is different
Yeah,
from the person who
from
is
the
freshly
counterpart that is
hired for some
joining
other.
freshly from the campus.
Correct.
So that is
And
also different.
also, if you want, all these Big Fours have a consulting leg as well, right? So
Yeah.
so not immediately, at least in Deloitte, but after say 1 or 2 years of your post qualification experience, they also open doors to consulting for people who have
Yeah.
been working with them.
So
So if you do not, if you want to go to consulting, so versus being or like on offline applying for consulting role, you can also in-house move to the consulting leg of the Big Fours.
Got it. And again, coming back to my question, what's the average package which someone can expect then? Like you guys subtly, I mean, smartly ignored answering that question here. But 10
Yeah.
lakhs or 12 lakhs is something that I had heard, but you guys
Yeah.
so that
So
Yeah,
the
it's the average is
depends
same.
upon 9 to 11.
Yes, average can be 10.
9
Yes.
to
Yeah,
11
it
lakh.
also
Okay.
at a certain extent depend your performance on the articleship. So if you have a very good performance, then obviously the perks are higher. But on an average, it's the same number that you quoted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
and 9 to 11 LPA is a fixed component. So there is a variable component also, which ranges from 10 to 20% of your pay.
got it.
So in totality, it goes to 12 to 13.
Got
For
it.
a homegrown article, as Yash mentioned, they give a preference of a higher CTC. So the differential would be 1 to 1.5 LPA between a homegrown article and someone who has joined from an external source.
Correct.
Got it. And in this itself, what I've also heard is that if someone is doing an articleship from mid-size and then they join in the Big Four in the audit team, their salary would be 20% lesser as compared to the salary of someone who's done an articleship in Big Four and then absorbed by that same Big Four. Is this also true?
Yeah, 20% probably it's
Yeah,
a little higher, I
not
would say.
Little
But
higher.
yeah,
not
it
sure
is
on the
it
percentage,
is
but yeah, as a
but it is
concept,
usually lower. Maybe
And
10%. Yeah,
it's not really about a fresh person coming from mid-size. Even if a person from EY moves to Deloitte after qualification, the package would be similar for a person coming from mid-size. It's
yeah.
the difference only
It's
is
only within the same
in-house
firm you
people
are in.
and
Yeah.
the other people.
Okay. There's a question in the chat box. Can a friend who's working in KPMG Bombay refer to someone who wants to get into KPMG Gurgaon? Does this also happen?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
The
is a pan-India
Referrals
portal.
are location
Yeah.
portal
agnostic,
is
so you
there.
can
Yeah.
refer anyone.
And in the reference
Openings are
portal, you have an
always there.
option to enter the location.
Yeah.
So the reference portal is a pan-India portal. You can drop down and select the location in which you want to refer the person.
Yeah.
Correct.
Got it. Fair. Cool. I think we'll take the last question in the interest of time, and then we'll take like some questions from the audience as well. So, what is one piece of advice you'd like to give everyone who wants to get into articleship in a Big Four? So, just last piece of advice you want to give everyone who's watching this. So, again, like alphabetically, jate Karthik, Soumya, Yash.
Yeah, so I guess advice would be a summarization of this seminar only. The every question that we answered, the listener should take a point away from each question that we answered, and that would be the summarized advice that a person can take away. So the points that I can recall is build a good resume, build a good LinkedIn profile, uh, use your references and use your skill set to reach upon those references to get an opportunity in the Big Four. And once you reach the Big Four interview stage, really brush upon your technical skills. The field that you are applying for, like if you are applying for an audit field, just make sure that the subject matter of that particular field you have a really strong hold upon. So for audit, you have a really strong hold upon the standards of auditing, vouching, verification, different asset classes. For taxation, for DT/IDT, really brush upon the recent amendments, because the interviewer would really focus upon the recent budget amendments, the recent changes that the law has inculcated, and similarly. And this would be my advice, that build upon your resume and just be honest in the interview. If you lie in the interview, one lie would follow another, and it will really mess up the entire interview in totality. So just be honest and just be yourself and be technically strong. At the article stage, your technical and your personality is really what matters. Yeah.
Correct. That is very right. You have to be true, because one lie leads to multiple other lies, and and that is very visible actually in the interview if you are not really speaking what you have done. So yeah, prepare yourself, know yourself well before going into the interview. You have to know what you have done, what you really want to do, what are the qualities that you are possessing, and talk to a few people who have worked in that organization before going into the interview. That really helps sometimes add a perspective on what the organization priorities also are and what will actually flow in the interview. Because sometimes people ask in an interview, why do you want to join Deloitte? If you get an offer from EY right now, would you go to EY or would you stick to Deloitte? Some people
This is a
really
common
ask
question.
these questions. So you have to know why that firm which you are really, interviewing for. So, and this you will get to know by studying about the firm, of course, Googling it, but talk to a few people on how the culture is different and how the work is better at that firm, and then frame your answer. so that the interviewer also sees that you are actually interested and you have studied about the organization, or not just coming in for the interview directly by the name that okay, Deloitte ka interview to chalo de dete hain. So you need to know the organization as well before going in, and go with an open mind. People sometimes in the interviewer also asks, will you be willing to work long hours? If we ask you to stay overnight at the office, would you be willing to do that during the articleship period? Go with an open mind. Tell them that you are here to give your best, and you would be willing to stretch yourself to seek learning, because it will help you with learning. So do not go with that constraint ki nahi, I will have coachings also, I will have to study also, तो मैं 5 बजे office से निकल जाऊंगा. Do not go with that attitude. Ultimately, of course, certainly you will, in the last year, you will try to get on out of time or try to find time for studying as well. But in that interview, go with an open mind and show them that you are going in for giving your best. So that would help.
True. And I would like
So
to add one
yeah.
point that Soumya mentioned that why a certain Big Four and not the other one. Rather, they asked me why CA. So just know that why you are pursuing this degree also. They asked me why not MBA, why not other post-qualification degrees, why CA. So just be open to the questions. And yeah, sorry, Yash, continue please.
Okay,
What
so
if
Karthik,
they also ask whether you want to go for industrial training? How do you tackle this question?
at that particular point of time, you shouldn't say that you want to go
Yes.
for industrial training. It's not a good fair start of an interview. You should be very well willing to serve the organization which you are part of, not moving out of it. Even if you see five years down the line, you see yourself as a part of that organization.
Got
Yeah.
it.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Karthik and Soumya summarized it quite well. Some specifics that you can cover is, if in your resume you can put in some numbers, because at the end of the day you're a person of finance. So if you're handling assignment, you have handled a task for an event, how many attendees are there at a particular point of time? If you have raised a fundraise at any volunteer organization, so how much is that amount of fundraise that you have? It will help in the resume. Then, in the meantime, while you're waiting your results, go for Excel training, go for Microsoft trainings, do some basics and advanced level of Excel training, the VLOOKUPs, the pivots, filters, formulas for Excel. These are very much helpful in every part of your articleship, whether you do it from Big Four or from any mediocre firm. And lastly, be well versed with some specific questions, like tell me something about yourselves. Prepare a standard format for that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years down the line? These are some very specific and generalized HR questions that would gonna be asked at an interview. So prepare for all these questions, specific questions, apart from the technical knowledge. And brush up on your technical knowledge at the time of an interview, specifically for that specific subject where are you going for the interview, as Karthik mentioned. So that's it. All the best for all the interviews that would gonna happen after some point of time. See
Wow,
you.
that's
Yeah.
very brilliant piece of advice, by the way. Thanks so much, guys. So we'll just take a few questions from the chat box in the last 10-15 minutes, so people will also get their queries answered. Although we have covered a lot of them. One of the common questions which is being asked is, how do you decide where to do articleship? In the sense, which domain should we do? There is like auditing, there is taxation, financial due diligence, valuations, and all. So how do you decide which particular domain to get in for articleship?
So basically, in my case, I just explored my subjects and I just saw that which subject is getting my interest. So taxation, personally, I like the direct taxation and IDT as a subject. I liked the content and I felt comfortable doing it practically. So while you are studying your IPCC subject, you get to know that audit mein maza aa raha hai, taxation is making you comfortable, but don't make it a sole criteria. Refer your professional circle as well, that what are the opportunities in that service domain and what exactly the future seems like in that domain. So talking to my friends, the audit profile really helps in the industry, which I personally believe. I don't know how true it is. Taxation gave me an insight on only on the taxation part of the companies, but audit makes you understand the business part of the company. So just look upon that factors only, not only the subject interest, but also how it will help your professional goals that you have in the long term.
Right.
Correct. And it is driven by both interests and if you know what do you want to do ultimately. But yes, if you want to go for something that is generic and can give you an exposure to different things, then audit comes in picture there.
Yes.
कि नहीं पता कि टैक्स कर पाएंगे कि नहीं, कि
Yeah.
नहीं पता आगे क्या करना है, तो go for audit. It gives you exposure to a lot of things.
Everything, yeah.
Right.
Soumya said it right, I believe. Audit is a generic field where it exposes you to multiple fields thereafter. Taxation is a little specific at the initial stage, but at the end of the day, if you have an interest in that, then go for taxation.
Right.
Correct.
Cool,
And
perfect.
also, Big Four sometimes do give very limited opportunity, but do give an opportunity to shift. Like for example,
Yes.
if you are a taxation intern in the first year, then if you approach the HR saying that you have a particular interest for audit or vice versa, Big Fours sometimes do accept this
Do
as well,
consider.
so they can
Yeah, but
change
Soumya, I believe it's quite rare. I haven't seen.
very
Yeah,
limited.
it is
Yeah, very
rare,
rare.
but there is a
Yes.
possibility. Yeah.
But there's a possibility, yeah.
Cool.
And if you have been performing well, then they would consider you.
Sure. If
Right.
you are performing well, everyone would consider you.
Right. That's why, Karthik, you were considered at EY, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, sure.
Cool, guys. Also, guys, request everyone to please stay back, as you guys would want to see the resume format that I have just got of a CA inter ranker, and he's doing articleship at KPMG. So I'll show it after the Q&A session. One more question, guys, we have in the chat box is basically, oh wow, Dipansh Shuman is asking, Karthik sir, how can I apply into your firm if I want to do a job? So Karthik sir, बता दो कैसे apply करना है.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
most welcome. Yeah, most welcome. And I guess we can put our LinkedIn profiles on the chat, and then we can connect for sure on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
For
अभी
sure.
के लिए ऐसे बोल रहा है कैमरा में, but I'm not sure ये LinkedIn पे कितना
No,
Karthik,
no, I
are
will
you
put,
also
yeah.
taking post qualification
Yeah.
people? Then I would also
Karthik,
be
put your
Yeah,
number, na?
yeah.
Karthik, put your number.
No. Yeah,
They will reach you directly.
post qualification, I'm looking for partners. Yeah, so we can partner. Yeah.
That's a good one. Tanay is asking if someone wants to get into private equity or investment banking domain or a finance domain, what path should be followed in articleship? Like, is it how do we get an articleship in finance, basically?
Generally, you won't get that in Big Four, but you will get the opportunities in a mediocre firm if you are looking for valuations, mergers and acquisitions. Generally, all these advisory fields, Big Four doesn't hire articleship, as per my experience. They only hire articles for audit, taxation, and direct taxation. So, if you are interested in mergers and acquisitions, valuations, private equity, venture funding, go for a mediocre firm who have some clients over there related to that field and then join it instead of joining a Big Four.
Okay,
Yes,
got it.
that is right.
Cool. We'll take the next one. Maisha Jori is asking, does it make sense to change your domain in articleship? Like after 1 year, you explore a new domain in, let's say, another firm or say another Big Four, about the transfers, basically.
I think depends on the personal situation and
Yes.
why do you want that change. It's
Hmm.
not recommended or it's not necessary to change. But if there is something that is not really working out for you in that organization, then of course you can go ahead and change.
Hmm.
But I don't think a very popular move or very recommended approach.
Yes, it shouldn't be a strategy that first year I will take experience of this, second year this. If you
Correct.
are not seeing your interest in that field, then for sure you can explore. But if you are comfortable in the field that you have joined in the first year, for sure you should continue in that field only. Because post qualification, whether you join industry, whether you retain in Big Four, they will value the time spent in that profile by you.
Hmm.
And different profiles, different experience won't always be a positive thing appearing on your resume.
Hmm. Got it. Fair. Arshia Jain is asking, are there any additional courses needed to pursue if you want to get an articleship in a Big Four firm? What kind of courses to
No,
do?
No,
No, not
no course.
necessarily.
not necessary.
So do you guys recommend that
Maximum,
CFA and all is a good add-on, although they are at a very early stage, but CFA or maybe other certification courses? What are your thoughts
Yash
on
would
that?
be the best person to answer
Yeah,
this.
yes.
Even Kushal, I would say, is the best person to answer. He has
No, but
multiple degrees
Yeah,
post.
Kushal also.
I am
Yeah.
the moderator here. I am not the speaker, so I'll answer it later on. Maybe Yash, yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, it's a good add-on, I believe. So it's not an harm. But at the end of the day, you have to manage your CA studies. Make sure that you're not ignoring your CA studies for the sake of another certification or for the sake of another course. Your primary objective is to clear the CA final exam. If you make time for the another degree or another course, CFA like that, nothing good than that. So not a mandatory, but a good go ahead.
Got it. Cool. Jitesh is
And
asking,
yeah,
do these big four, sorry, yeah, Karthik, go ahead.
yeah, just a small point, like CFA is a luxury to have, but for everyone, as a generic advice, I would recommend doing something upon Excel, because in your professional journey, Excel plays a really strong part. And if you put on your resume and in your interview, you tell that I have done an advanced Excel course, that would really give a comfort to the person who is hiring you, because they know that
Yeah.
the initial few months they will have to train you for doing the Excel thing and everything. So as
And
a basic,
KAGR is also having a good advanced Excel
yeah,
course.
Guys, I have not paid money to these people. नहीं तो उनको लगेगा कि मैंने तुमको बोला है बोलने के
yeah,
लिए.
smoothly plugging in that.
Yeah, got it. No, ठीक है. I think I agree with you on that. So किसको अगर लेना है तो हाँ केगर के courses है. You guys can consider visiting our website and have a look at that. One quick question here by Jitesh. Transfer case लेते हैं क्या Big Four? If I want to do my articleship, I have completed 1 year. So do these Big Four prefer, or is there a possibility of getting into Big Four?
I think very
Possibility होती है, but very rarely.
Very difficult, yeah, very
Very
difficult.
difficult, yeah.
Okay, and एक Big Four से दूसरे Big Four में transfer लिया तो is that possible?
that is also rare.
That is also very rare.
And there is no point at the end of the day if you're taking a transfer one Big Four to another Big Four, apart from the field if you're
And
having it.
honestly, you won't get time to do all this. Okay, once you join a Big Four, you won't get time to explore other opportunities in Big Four. If you are managing the Big Four professional thing and your studies, that would be enough for the day. I don't think I had the time to even look upon the other opportunities, other Big Fours. So yeah.
Yeah.
Give your best.
Sorry, Soumya, your voice is little low. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was saying ultimately focus on one or two things at a time. Just do not, want to do multiple things. Otherwise, you will just lose giving your best to what you are there for.
Yeah, I agree. One more quick question here is that one girl is asking Brunmai that in interviews, does English speaking like speaking in English fluently matter in order to clear the interviews to get into Big Four? What are your thoughts?
Versus fluency, I think the confidence with which you are speaking, and if you know the topic that you are speaking, that is more critical versus being fluent in English. Of course, if you are fluent in English, you are confident in everything, you would be the right candidate for them. But even if you're not fluent, but you are confident and you know what you're talking, then it works.
Yeah, it helps, but if you convey that message that you are willing to learn, even if you are not fluent, but you convey that message that you are willing to learn, the person hiring would strongly recommend you further. Because at that point of time, it is very early in the corporate stage when you are applying for articleship. So they need a person who is willing to learn and who is willing to adapt, rather than who is a perfect candidate for that profile. So yeah, you have to show your willingness to learn. And obviously fluency and everything helps.
And at the end of the day, in the organization itself, while you are in PwC or in EY or in Deloitte, you're not speaking English all the times with your fellow mates.
Yeah,
You would be using
true.
Hindi almost 80 to 90% of the time. So it's not the case that you have to be very much fluent in English. So it doesn't matter that much apart from your confidence and technical knowledge that Soumya mentioned.
Got it. And I think you guys, तुम लोग तो आर्टिकलशिप में कुछ ऐसे गालियां वालियां भी देते थे ना तुम्हारे कलीग्स को वगैरह, वो तो एकदम
हमें पढ़ती थी
Right.
Thomas seniors.
Okay. Let's take 2-3 questions. One is by Sumit. This is a good one. How do you strengthen your technical knowledge, or what are your learning resources? How should we stay updated? Any resources you guys use on a regular basis which you can think of?
So in
Go through
professional
some
journey or
finance.
before articleship?
No, both as a professional. Like, how can one stay updated with what's happening in the economy? So what are your
Follow
learning
Krishnan
resources?
Lodha on YouTube, Instagram.
भाई तेरे को मैंने मजे लेने के लिए नहीं बुलाया मैंने यहाँ पे. Genuine guidance चाहिए लोगों
Yeah,
को.
genuine guidance is that there are many YouTube content that you can consume, financial content that you can consume. And apart from that, go through CA journals. They publish it on a monthly basis. You will find technical updations from there. The case studies would be there.
How can one get this CA journal? कहाँ पे मिलता है?
On the ICI portal, it's
ICI portal, you
available
can subscribe
on
to
the
it.
software.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
they-
also keep talking to people in your profession. I think while talking to people, you will get to know a lot of things which you can have quality discussions with people versus if you're not into reading a lot, then go for discussions with people, then you'll definitely कुछ ना कुछ तो नया मिलेगा ही मिलेगा.
And follow good websites. There are very good websites which post content related to our profession. There are Taxman, Tax Guru. They post very good articles related to studies. And yeah, you can subscribe to ICI events also. They keep on organizing many ICI training events for articles for students, for professionals. They also really help. So knowledge is everywhere. You just have to consume it.
Right. Cool. Perfect. We'll take the last question now. So let's take the last question here. Wanted to know the company culture at all the three big fours where you were working in. So like the person wants to understand how was the company culture and like they want to understand कौन से big four में जाना है basically. So maybe one by one you can take it. EY का
ज़्यादा काम
Karthik, you
करना है
can
तो
be
EY में
frank.
जाओ.
हाँ,
Yeah,
exactly.
ज़्यादा भाई करना है तो EY में जाओ.
Yeah, so ये general image है. So EY has a general image that the work culture and the work timings are very high. But to be honest, and everyone would agree, it really depends on the service line. And after service line, it really depends on the team that you are working with. So my 3 years at EY were really good during articleship. It were really good because my team was very supportive. I showed them my good work, and they in return supported me by giving good study timings, and they had fixed hours of working for me. So I used to come at 10:30 and leave around 7:30, and before and after that I used to manage my studies really well. So obviously we have a certain image about every big four, but it really depends upon your team. And before applying, obviously you don't know in which team you are going, so that depends on the luck. But obviously there is no certain image associated to a certain big four, and every big four operates on their own level depending upon the service line. Yeah.
Right.
And one important thing is that every big four generally appoint one buddy and one people manager to you, so that if you have any issues while at big four, you can talk to them. They will be more friendly. And apart from that, it depends on the assignments also, the time duration that you're giving. For a light assignment, probably you have to spend 7 or 8 hours. But at the time of hectic start audits or at the time of LR, you might end up spending 12, 13 hours. So it depends on that. But on an average, it's around 8 to 9 hours. It's not that much, especially at PwC. It's fine. It's the work-life balance is good, and the culture is also good.
Yes, I think the culture is similar across Big Fours. It depends largely upon what set of people you are working with on that particular assignment, and that also majorly drives the deadlines or the timelines you are working. But the experience overall of working at a Big Four is immensely great. I think
Yes.
you would learn a lot, and you would carry those learnings throughout in whatever you do, even you do a practice or you go for corporate. Still today, being at PNG, I remember a lot of things I did during articleship in certain instances, and I'm able to help the team here, giving them references. Oh, I've done this during articleship. This was the client, and they had this practice of dealing with these kind of scenarios. So it helps a lot throughout because you can connect a lot and you can add value to the next organization you go to with your experiences during the Big Four assignments. So it helps a lot. Trust me, it helps a lot.
Right.
Totally vouch it. Yeah.
Well, I think after talking to all three of you, I am feeling कि यार काश मैंने भी बिग फोर में आर्टिकलशिप कर ली होती तो मैं तुम तीनों जितना सक्सेसफुल हो पाता आज. But ठीक है,
Yeah.
There's a
never
sense
mind.
of irony over there, huh?
Yes.
No, I mean, I'm just like, चलो ठीक है, कभी ना कभी बाद में कर लेंगे. Big Four articleship. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. This was super helpful, guys. I know there are a lot of questions, everyone, but in the interest of time, I think we won't be able to take these questions. But of course, feel free to reach out to them on LinkedIn, and I'll soon be sharing the resume template also, which you guys were asking. Sample resume दिखाओ articleship के लिए. But yes, Soumya and Karthik, it was really nice talking to you, and thank you so much for your time. Hope that all the people who have attended this will get a lot of guidance, and they'll be able to get into Big Four as well. So thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Kushal, for organizing it.
Thank you, Kushal. Thank you
All
for
the best,
organizing.
everyone.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you.
All the
Thank
best.
you.
Bye.
Thanks.
And feel free to reach out on LinkedIn or
Yeah,
just
we will put our LinkedIn profiles on the chat.
Yeah,
And
I'll ask from my team, someone from my team to
yeah,
put.
yeah.
So
Sure.
they'll put that for sure.
And everyone is welcome to
Yes.
ask queries
To join
or
the
any
firm.
guidance.
willing to
To
help.
join
To
Karthik's
join
firm as
Karthik's
well.
firm.
To join the firm also, yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Sure. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
So perfect, guys. So of course, like we have some good important announcement also for you, and of course, like I know that we also have to give you the resume format. So let me do this one by one quickly, and let me share my screen so all of you will also have a gist in terms of the resume template which is there, and the announcement that I have to do. Okay. So what I am doing is I'll just share my experience again. So I was doing articleship from a mid-size firm, and when I did my articleship, right, तो उसमें सबसे बड़ा challenge क्या था कि I was not very well versed with, let's say, communication skills, cracking interviews, and I was not very good when it comes to Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint. I'll tell you, in my articleship, I did not even know how to use a VLOOKUP, or I did not even know how to prepare a PowerPoint presentation slide and presenting it to the senior management in the articleship, like partners, वगैरह. So I faced a lot of these issues as well, and I was very scared even while giving my interviews in the mid-size firm wherever I had applied to, despite getting all India ranks in my CA foundation and CA intermediate. But that was a problem which I faced, and I really thought that, of course, like there should be something which will help us in order to improve both our communication skills, which is soft skills, as well as the hard skills on how do you just brush up the concepts of Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and just ensure that you are using this consistently on a very professional basis. So this is something which was not taught to us in our CA curriculum, not even in CA foundation, not even in CA intermediate. And that's where we thought that at KAGR, let's also try to introduce something which will help all the people who are seeking articleship to just solidify their skill sets, be it like communication skills, mock interviews, be it group discussions, be it, let's say, skills on Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft PowerPoint. So what I will do is I'll just share my screen, and I'll just share like in terms of what we have launched. And if you are someone also like who's looking for CA articleship and wants some guidance and of course like references as well, we'll be more than happy to help you in all the manner possible. So this is the Articleship Accelerator program that we've launched at KAGR. And primarily what we are trying to do is that we are just trying to bridge the gap between the skill sets that are taught versus the academia which is there. So I am going to teach, and this is going to happen from 5th of January to 14th of January for a period of 10 days, which is there. And this is going to happen from 8 to 10 p.m. So let me just walk you through the curriculum which is there, and you can just have a look. So firstly, I'll just introduce the other trainer also who's there. So I am going to teach myself. Out of 10 sessions, 7 to 8 sessions, I am going to teach for 2 hours each. And Yatharth, who is one of my dear friends, he's also going to teach. He's an all India rank holder in intermediate and finals, and he has done articleship from EY as well as KPMG. So he was a transfer case, and he was the outlier in the sense ki Yash and Karthik mentioned that transfers nahi lete, but Yatharth was the one who took a transfer, and he did articleship both from EY as well as KPMG. And about me as well, like I think most of you would have followed. So I mean, I've done my CA, CFA, ACCA, and I have also started creating content on social media. So I'm going to teach on communication skills, soft skills, and all of that. Let me walk you through the curriculum which is there, right? So the course content is pretty simple. We are going to teach you about the articleship overview in terms of how do you choose where to go, what are the major departments which are there. The second session will be on resume building, which I'll just give a like snapshot or maybe a snippet of that maybe towards the end when I show you the professional resume of one of my friends. So how do you create a resume? How do you, let's say, quantify any achievement? How how do you highlight the skills and achievements? What are the activities which we can give? Like we are just going to ask all of you who are going to be there to prepare your own resumes as well, which will help you in order to get an articleship in like the top 5, top 10 firms which are there. The third would be on cracking interviews, which is the type of questions that are expected in articleship interviews, the answers for these questions, and how do you improve your communication skills. I myself am going to prepare an interview cheat sheet where I am going to list down all the possible questions in a 40-50 pages kind of a PDF, and this ebook which will be there, you can just use it whenever you are applying for any articleship interviews. This will have all the questions, be it behavioral, be it technical, or be it some questions related to soft skills as well. So that is something which I am going to prepare and give it to you. Module 4 is group discussion. Although like a few big fours, they don't have group discussions now, but we have ensured that we are giving GDs as well, because that is something which will help you in order to improve your communication skills. If let's say we are giving you a topic like, okay, how do you what is the impact of Indias on the Indian economy, or let's say Soumya mentioned red is the new blue, she was asked this kind of a topic. We don't want you to just communicate on that. We want to see how do you think, how do you structure your thoughts, and the recruiters want to understand that if you're able to structure your thoughts properly, you'll be able to get an articleship or get a job anywhere in the future. So that is the importance of the GD session, which Yatharth will spill over in a matter of time. The fifth module is email writing. This is also something which we thought is very crucial and important for articleship, because a lot of emails which you guys are going to write, they are going to be very, very important. Let's say you write to your bosses, managers, etc. So email writing is something that is going to be super crucial for you to impress your bosses. The sixth module is basically how do you use MS Office, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So again, like the title is proper formatting, but this will be divided into 2 days, 2 hours each day, so 4 hours of content. An entire day would be on Excel, which Yatharth will just cover in the next few minutes, and one day would be on Word and PPT, where he's going to teach you how do you create impactful slides. He's going to divide you into groups, and he's going to just share about how do you craft a proper PPT slide and present it to the senior management. So this is going to be like a mini MBA kind of an experience for you over a period of 10 days happening online, so that you can also have a very good experience in the same. The last two modules are basically on building your personal brand on LinkedIn and the other softer skills that are relevant in the job. This I am also going to cover how you can use artificial intelligence, which is Chat GPT, in your articleship, so that you can also use Chat GPT to, let's say, draft a cover letter, draft your email, create your resumes, or just like create some beautiful slides using Chat GPT. So that is something which I am going to teach. And building a personal brand on LinkedIn, this will include how do you build a solid LinkedIn profile, how do you reach out to recruiters, how do you network with people who are already working in a big four, how do you identify opportunities at a big four, or let's say at a big 10 firm, by just ensuring that you are screening the right HRs. And lastly, what is the importance of building your own personal brand? I'm going to teach you how do you, let's say, create your own personal brand on LinkedIn, and how do you start writing content so even recruiters start to recognize you. So this is something which I'm going to teach in the last module, and this is something which we are providing starting from 5th Jan to 14th Jan. Now again, you might be wondering, okay, what is the price of this and what is the value which I am getting? Let me first show the value which is there. So I'll just quickly go above, and I'll just quickly show you the kind of benefits that you will be able to get in here. So basically, the thing is that there'll be a one-on-one session with me where I'm going to give you an articleship and career guidance. There will be one mock interview with a mentor who's working from a big four. We have partnered with 7, 8 different mentors who are working in different big fours, and they are going to take mock interviews for 30 minutes with each candidate. There will be a free basic Excel course by Chinmay Amte, who has taught at IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta. That course, like that Excel course, will be given to you. Of course, like this will be included in the main package itself. There is going to be an interview cheat sheet, as I mentioned, which I am going to give you, and comprehensive guidance on every aspect to ensure a smooth and amazing articleship experience. Now here, if you see, this is going to be on a screening basis. So only 30 students are going to be selected in this batch. The reason we have kept it 30 is because we want this 30 students to just have a very good network with each other. And I want to give a personalized attention to all 30 of them. So I want to ensure that all the 30, whoever I'm going to select, are the ones who are going to be the smartest of the smartest crowd. And the selection criteria is going to be very simple. You should have the drive to achieve something. You should have the hunger to learn. You should have the ownership attitude that, okay, if I am telling you to do this thing for the next 10 days, you should be sincere enough to do that. And lastly, you should be able to just structure your thoughts very properly. So I want ownership, drive, hustle from all of you. And that is the main criteria which we are going to use to select the candidates. Now, again, like talking about the pricing. So again, since we are going to give one-on-one mentorship, since it's only for exclusively for CA intermediate students as such, so we have kept the pricing as rupees 10,000 plus GST here. And you might be wondering that, okay, this is like slightly on a higher end and etc. But again, we are giving scholarships as well for people who have got more than 300 marks in their CA foundation. So if let's say you have given your CA foundation and have got 300 marks or more, there's a scholarship which will be given to you. And lastly, the main objective or the main reason of doing this is that I want to ensure that all the communication skills, all the basic hard skills which are required in Microsoft Excel, Word and PowerPoint, and all the skills related to getting into an articleship, that is something which I am going to teach. And I just want 30 students in this batch, not more than 30. And this is a network which will always be there for you no matter where you go. So for example, if let's say you get into articleship, all these 30 people will be getting into articleship in let's say Big Four, or let's say the top 10, top 15 firms in Bombay, in Ahmedabad, in Pune. So you also need to build that network with each other so that you know that ye hamesha mere saath rahege. And we are going to give a mini MBA kind of an experience, and that is something which we are going to ensure to each and every one of you who's going to be a part of this batch. So applications ho gaye. We are going to screen candidates. Sabka interview hoga. There is an application fee of ₹100 which will be non-refundable because we want serious candidates to apply. And after you consult with your friends or parents, and once you decide to apply, we are going to expect utmost sincerity from each and every one of you. So the point here is that we have launched a similar batch for CA final students. By the way, we launched a career accelerator program for them. We got amazing applications. We selected only 25 students in that batch, and that batch has already started from 5th of December till 19th of Jan. That batch was for CA final. We are launching a similar batch for CA inter. If you are someone who is confused about the quality of the program or not, like, you can just reach out to any of the CA final students who have who have just registered for our career accelerator program, and this will help you in order to just upskill in your articleship journey. So over to Yatharth. He'll explain about the Excel module and the other modules, and then he'll also answer all the questions which are there in the chat box.
Cool. Thank you, Kushal. So guys, you must have studied in your costing. There are, concepts like ABC, activity-based costing. There is activity-based budgeting. Similarly, nowadays, what actually we are focusing on is ABL, which is activity-based learning. The modules, every session, all the modules will be in a manner where they will be driven through activities, and you will eventually learn as and when you go through those activities. So it helps you in two ways. One, you don't just get the theoretical knowledge, you apply it at that moment itself. And second, because you have applied it, so it will get retained in your minds. So activity based learning is what we believe in, and how the sessions will unfold for you guys. Talking about the specific session on group discussion, why group discussion is very important is because HR gets hundreds of CVs, right? But because the technical session is usually taken by audit managers, directors, or partners, so they don't really have a lot of time to interview everyone. So the quickest way to shortlist 10 people out of 100 or 50 out of 5 is group discussion, where at a time you can get 10 to 15 people, and you can ask them to speak in one minute. So it will be a 20-minute session, and within those 20 minutes you can reach from 10 to shortlisting 2 people. That is why group discussion holds a lot of importance wherever wherever there is one step before the interview. So to get in those 2 out of 10, group discussion is something which you'll have to focus on. Second, group discussion also helps you in 2 aspects. One is your communication skills, your articulation skills, your way in which you can put forward a lot of thoughts in a more crispier manner. That helps you in interview. And second, when these group discussion activities will be happening, the topics will be around those which are usually touched upon in the interviews. So it will also help you to increase or sharpen your knowledge base. So communication skills and knowledge base. And third, which is the most important part, which I mentioned before, is you will be shortlisted basis your group discussions, and you'll get 1 minute, and you have to make an impact amongst the other 10 who have been shortlisted basis their CV. So that is why group discussion holds a lot of importance. First, getting on the second part, once you learn about group discussion, interviews, how to crack articleship, you'll end up doing an articleship. And we are not only there to support you till getting articleship, but we also want to make sure that once you get into articleship, we are still there. So for that, the skill sets, the knowledge, the technical skills required for you to get your articleship go smooth, the articleship journey to go smooth, that includes soft skills, office etiquettes, office politics, all those sort of things. Then the most important part is the technical aspect, which is using Microsoft Excel, PPT, and Word. These 3 are the basic tools which you have to use for ample amount of hours during your articleship journey. Till school time or till college time or till your CA intermediate, you probably wouldn't have a lot of opportunities for using Word or PPT. You might have used, but Excel is something which we don't have our hands on, right? And Excel is the game changer for any corporate journey, be it articleship, be it your CA future job, be it anything. It is the game changer for you. It is the line between being an efficient article or an inefficient article. And trust me, there will be a lot of competition because each firm has, not more than 10 to 20 articles at a time in a team, and there will be tough competition. And there are a lot of things which you get. One is, post you become a CA, you'll be most likely absorbed by that same firm. During your articleship, there are a lot of awards, so you have to get in the efficient category of an article to make an impression, and this is the start of your career. If you are a efficient or a good article, if you know a lot of Excel, advanced Excel functions beforehand, because what happens usually is when a article joins, he takes a couple of months just to set their hands on Excel, basic things of Excel, basic things of PPT, and to know about the basics of everything, which gives him a slow start for the 3-4 months. But whereas if you compare with an article or a person who has joined the firm recently and he's already well versed and set with the Excel functions required for the articleship, we have customized the advanced Excel functions, which will be actually, we are covering only those which are relevant for your articleship journey, and not the other advanced Excel which are very fancy to hear, but they are of no use. We have customized this Excel course only for limiting those functions which will be useful in the articleship. So that will again give you a head start. You won't take that 2-3 months ka lag period where you try to grab things slowly. You will have a kickstart, you'll get better clients, you'll make better CV when you appear for the CA job, and then you will be in the good books of your manager because you are an efficient article, because you already know a lot of stuff. So that will be the advantage of group discussion and the technical skills part. So yeah, over to you, Kishan.
Cool, perfect. Just adding on to this, guys. So as he mentioned, right? So that session on Excel would be customized, and any which ways we are giving a basic free Excel course in this package itself. So basic free Excel course is worth like around 3-4 thousand, because Chinmay is basically a person who has taught at IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, and that recording is also going to be given. That's a 12-hour of content, pre-recorded content, which will be given to you. So that is also something which is a part of the package. So if you want to understand right from scratch and all, you will be having that pre-recorded access also. At the same time, Yatharth will be teaching about the customized things which are just required in your articleship journey as well. So that is also a bonus. I'll just take a few questions from the chat box before I show the resume, which a lot of people are waiting for. So there's a question: what is the amount of scholarship which we can get? So we are offering a 20% scholarship if you are someone who has got more than 300 marks in foundation on merit basis, or if you've got a rank in your CA foundation, then you will be getting a 20% of scholarship. That is something which we are offering. We have next question by Tejaswini. Is it beneficial to join if the exam was my second attempt? It's absolutely fine even if the exam was second attempt. We are not looking at attempts any which ways. All we are looking at is that if you have the drive, hunger to learn, and if you are someone who wants to really upskill yourself in your career and want to improve your communication skills, soft skills, hard skills, including Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and even email writing and all, and learning how to use artificial intelligence and chat GPT, then I think this is going to be the perfect course for you. We have next question: who is eligible to join these courses? I have not cleared my CA inter, whether I should do this or not. So that's absolutely fine. In fact, like a lot of you have not cleared your CA inter. Like a lot of you have given your exams in November 2023. You are waiting for your CA inter results. That's absolutely fine. This is primarily because we wanted to ensure that we are teaching you in your CA, like after your CA inter exams are over and like until your results are announced, we wanted you to utilize your time. And of course, like once the results are announced, we'll be there with you in order to ensure that your articleship is like secured and you want to go wherever you ultimately want to go. So with the network that I have built over the last 2 years, I'll also ensure that I am passing on your resume once we have the resume building session, and ensuring that this is referred to in the other articleship firms. Ishika is asking any similar articleship programs you will be bringing post results. So Ishika, nothing as of now, honestly, because I'll tell you what happens is that usually the big fours recruit articles from 10th. Let's say your exam results come on 10th of Jan. By 17th of Jan or 18th of Jan, all the big four articles will be freezed. So that's why the point of launching this right now is that if let's say you want to get into a big four after a point in time, so at least we have good amount of time to ensure that we are referring your candidature to that big four. So as of now, no extra batch is going to be launched. This is going to be the only batch. But let's say if we get good response and if we are able to, let's say, talk to these big fours and convince them to hire later on in the month of February, then we can keep you updated for sure. But as of now, nothing. There is no second batch which is going to be there. Let's take the next question which is there. Nidhi is asking, I'm waiting for my results yet. Can I still join? Yeah, absolutely. You can still join. This is primarily for people who are waiting for the results, who have given their exam in November 2023. So definitely, like, you can also join. So we have one question, Monica, can ACCA students also join? So in case you, see, I'll tell you again, in CA, there is an articleship kind of like we are teaching them how to get into articleship. If you really are satisfied with the content in ACCA, there is no concept of articleship as of now. So like with ACCA, we cannot give you an articleship. But if you are someone who wants to come for content, for network, and if you think this is going to add a lot of value, then for sure, you will definitely get the best of the best content quality from me and Yatharth, and you're going to get a very good mini MBA kind of an experience in a matter of 10 days itself. So that is something which we are definitely going to give. So that is for ACCA students. You can definitely apply. In fact, in our career accelerator program for CA final students, we had one ACCA student. She is doing ACCA, and she is also extremely happy with the content and product and the community that she is getting to network with.
Kushal, so I want to add another very
Yeah.
relevant point for them, which I think, something should be taken in mind is if you think of, preparing a CV for, sending it across for articleship, usually we don't end up having a lot of content on our CV, right? Because it's just the school competitions which you can mention and about your CA inter and foundation academics. So, another thing, one of the most important things which it will also help you in is it will give weight to your CV when you write that you have joined or attended a program like accelerator program, which is specifically for articleship. That shows two things. One, it makes your CV stronger. And second, it reflects your mindset to the interviewer or the person who is screening your CV that this guy is interested or is very sincere and serious towards building a career, and that is why he's taking an extra effort towards his career at the very start. So it shows your mindset. So I think this will again put up a very very nice character of you to the interviewer, so which will again help you getting shortlisted and cracking the interviews through. So I think this will be also very important.
I agree, absolutely. We have the next question. Mamta is asking dates and timing of this course. 5th Jan to 14th Jan, each and every day, all 10 days, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. The recordings of the session will also be given to you. You will have lifetime access to these recordings. So don't worry about the recordings. And this is something which will definitely like not clash with your IT OT timings as well. That's why we asked the question, what are your IT OC timings? So that is something which we have taken care of. So 8 to 10 p.m., 5th Jan to 14th Jan. Nidhi is asking what's the last day to register. The last day to apply for this is going to be 30th of December, because we want to screen candidates and we want the batch to be filled by 2nd of January, as we are starting from 5th Jan. So 30th December is the last day to apply. And of course, like it's also going to be on a proper screening basis. So once you apply and once you fill the Google form, the application form that we have, we'll do a quick round of interview, and basis that we'll select. Will it be face to face at Bombay? No, it's not going to be face to face. It's going to be completely online, and we are going to just ensure that we are doing it online. But of course, like people who are in Bombay, there'll be a small meetup which will be organized the way we had done it for our career accelerator program batch. Can we get the recording of this session? Yeah, of course. This recording will be uploaded on YouTube, on KAGR's YouTube channel. So don't worry about that. Cool. So I think these are the questions that are there. So perfect. I think almost all the questions are answered. Okay, there's one question. Can CA foundation students also join in? So Khushi, again, this is specifically for someone who wants to get in an articleship. But again, if you have some time and if you want to build a network with, let's say, like-minded people, and if you want to upskill without having that, without having that motive of getting into articleship because you can't, because you have not given your inter, feel free to enroll for the same. And in fact, if you are someone who's very passionate about learning these skills, we'll be happy to have you over as well. The reason we kept it for CA inter students was because we wanted to just make it like an articleship accelerator program, so that their chances of getting an articleship in the top 5, top 10 firms which are there will increase significantly. I've spoken to all the HRs of Big Fours. I've also spoken to other HRs, and I'm trying to understand how is their entire recruitment process, when do they start, what do they interview, how do they test, so that it will be helpful in the batch as well. Cool. So I think that's it. So we have one more question by Tushar. My ITT batch is in January, so I will be able to join articleship in February. Will I be able to get into Big Four in February? So Tushar, here the point is that usually Big Fours close their recruitment process by January end. But again, if you are someone who has got, let's say, a rank in inter, or let's say if you can tell them I'll be joining from February or Feb end, so that's absolutely fine. All I'm trying to say is that interviews will happen in a matter of 7 to 10 days. But you can join in February also. So you don't need to join immediately is what I'm saying. So even if you have ITT in January, that's absolutely fine. That's not a compulsion as well. Cool. I think so almost all the questions have been answered. So Barani is asking, how do we register? I'll ask Shabd from my team to please put in the link in the chat box and you can just register from the link which is there. All right, cool. Kashish, yeah, a resume. I know you have been waiting for that. So I think that's it about this particular program. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Vrushti from my team or Shab from my team. And you have like the contact details on the website. I'll ask them to put it in the chat box also. And that is something which we will definitely answer all your queries. And Yatharth, any end comments you have before I move on to the resume session?
No, I think this is one of the opportunities, because when I did my articleship from KPMG and EY, the major challenge was, we didn't had someone to seek guidance from. And, these sort of programs weren't available at that time. So I feel that these people are very lucky that they have somewhere to go to seek guidance, to sort, because I can see the chat box, there are a lot of queries about what Big Four offer, what they don't, what to choose, what field to choose, what type of mid-size to choose. And, there are a lot of questions, and these are best answered by those who have recently cleared, because they have the most relevant experience. And because, using this program, they'll be in touch with them, they'll make a mentor, they'll make a network with them, which I think would be of crazy amount of use for them, which will be very useful, that they can right away at the very early stage, they can set the right direction for themselves, and they can get all the types of queries answered. So I think they are very lucky and privileged because of people like you who come up with these sort of initiatives. So yeah, that's
Cool.
about it.
Perfect, Yatharth. Thank you so much. Means a lot. And can't wait to see all of you applying here. And Yatharth and I'll be waiting for all of you to be a part of this batch. Cool. Perfect. Thanks, Yatharth. So guys, I'll just quickly share my screen and show you the resume which all of you have been waiting for. Let me share my screen and let me walk you through the resume of one of my friends who had applied. So this was the resume of one of my friends, Prasanna Surana, and he did his articleship at KPMG. Okay. So now if you see, let me just walk you through the same and let me just show you what exactly is preferred. So firstly, a tabular format is preferred if you are making a resume. Let's just zoom this. Just one sec, guys. Yeah. So firstly, like a tabular format is preferred here. So he has written his name. He has mentioned his All India rank in foundation and intermediate. He has given a professional photograph of himself. Contact, email, and LinkedIn. Like this is something which you need to write it in your resume. So personal details. Career objective. What is something which you are looking for in your articleship? Working in a challenging environment to learn the necessary skills for my future professional career, and getting the best out of me by applying the previously acquired knowledge to practical life situations. So this is something which you all should write in your resume whenever you're applying for articleship. Mention about your academic qualifications. So he has mentioned CA Inter, whatever the score. If you have an All India rank, then mention that. CA Foundation, he had All India rank 3. He has given actuaries common entrance test 86%. So he has just repeated the remark, but there's no point on repeating the remark because that's already mentioned in 86%. He has mentioned his 12th and 10th scores as well. Third rank in college, first rank in school. So this is something which you all need to do whenever you are preparing your resume. If let's say you have given some other exams like Acing CA, or let's say if you have given any other course which you are pursuing or doing, you can mention that also in the academic qualification. Next is the skills and achievements. So honestly, like you won't have any work experience until you have done any internship, right? So just mention about the skills and achievements which are there. He has mentioned about the All India ranks. He has mentioned completed course on basics of mutual funds and transfer agency. Completed 90 hours of advanced ITT of ICI. MS Office Tally Idea, scored 100 and 100 marks in mathematics in both HSC and SSC, participated in various competitive exams in school with district level ranks. Now, this could have been done a little better in the sense that you can just mention which competitive exams and what kind of ranks you got out of how many students, and awarded ideal student of the school in standard 10th. So here also it could have been done better ki how many students were there in the school, and out of like let's say 200 students, he was awarded one student. He was awarded as the ideal student. So basically always quantify whenever you are writing any skill or any achievement, and that is something which is going to be preferred. So if I were going to recruit, right, so I am definitely going to see the kind of candidature which will be determined by the percentages, by the marks which he has mentioned here. And one more piece of advice for all of you is that if you're writing percentage, right, just either write percentage or marks, keep it consistent. So for example, CA intermediate 647 out of 800. So this would be what, 80 percentage ke aspas. So 80 percentage is something that you need to write in here. Same for this as well. This would be around what, 90 percentage. So all you have to ensure is that you are writing percentages because he has mentioned percentages in the last three brackets. So, and you also have to be consistent. This is 2 decimal place, this is 2 decimal place, this is 0 decimal places. So you have to ensure that the decimal places are also consistent here. And this is something which will be tested by recruiters. And although you might think, yaar, ye to bahut zyada hai, ye to bahut minor points hai, but trust me, I have spoken to a lot of HRs and they give minor points to all these things also. Matlab, it's always better to be perfect. Why do you want to keep any mistake in your resume, right? So this is something which is a good format. Of course, like I also have another format of my resume, but this is not of articleship. This is of my CA final post results. So let me just share my screen again. So see, this is the resume format that I had prepared for my CA final. So again, here I had mentioned about the academic qualifications. I had mentioned about the work experience from Aditya Birla Group experience. This was my articleship experience. Then positions of responsibility, whatever work I have done, and awards, achievements, and skills. So all in all, like this was a good tabular format, professional resume. But see, the thing is that since all of you are going to do for articleship, so you won't have work experience. मतलब ये पूरा point ही निकल जाएगा. So that's why it's absolutely fine to not have work experience, but at least mention or maybe just have a very professional format of resume. That is something which is going to be preferred. So अगर इतना कुछ लिखने को नहीं है, तो you can just follow another format. I'll share this Word document also with all of you. This is there on my public LinkedIn profile. I'll share it in the WhatsApp group which all of you are a part of, and we'll also share the sample resume also which we just saw. ठीक है? So this is like the way of building your own resume if you are going for articleship. So yeah, any questions or on the resume part, feel free to type it in the chat box. Do we have to mention number of attempts in our resume? No, no need to mention that. Using which app you have prepared your resume? It's Microsoft Word only, no other app as such. Don't use novoresume.com or any other website. It's not recommended at all. WhatsApp group link, I will request Shabd or Rushti, please, can you paste the WhatsApp group link? That will be very helpful. Can you please provide list of mid-sized firms? Sure. So we don't have like a proper list of mid-sized firms. I have the, of course, top 20 I have because I've spoken to them. But if you're asking for top 100, top 200, that is something which we don't have as of now. How to join your WhatsApp group? Again, I've requested the team to please paste the link of the WhatsApp group in the chat box. Shall I put in marks if they are not good? Yeah, absolutely. You have to put in marks because that is something which is going to be a determining factor. So that is something, marks is something which you need to put. Will you refer us to Big Four in your program, Arshia? Yeah, we'll refer you to Big Fours. We have already spoken to, I've spoken to HRs of PwC, EY, KPMG, Deloitte, and I have told them I'm launching this and I'm going to refer your candidature if you're a part of the batch. But again, I am not guaranteeing. It's always going to be on the online assessment test and the interviews that you are going to give. Okay? Let's take the next question, sir. Do we have to mention any extracurricular activities, achievements that Divya? Absolutely, you have to mention all the extracurricular achievements and activities that you are mentioning, like be it as small as, let's say, taking part in various college events, organizing some fest in college, or let's say volunteering in an NGO for teaching rural kids in India. Anything which you have done, you have to mention it on your resume. Nilanjan Chatterjee, do we have to mention any hobby in the resume? You can mention, but ideally, if that hobby is not very materialistic, in the sense that if that is not something worth flaunting, then it's not needed. Like, I'll tell you a very simple mantra of what to put in resume. If you think that the thing which you have mentioned in your resume is worth boasting, worth flaunting in front of, let's say, 100 people, then put that in resume. For example, if you're putting in hobbies that you're a dance, like you love dancing, do you think it's worth flaunting as of now? No. But if you're a Bharatnatyam dancer, if you are, let's say, a professional dancer, that is definitely worth putting it in your resume. If you just put your hobbies that, okay, playing cricket, do you think it is worth flaunting? Not at all. सब लोग ही cricket खेलते हैं. But if you are a state level cricketer or maybe district level cricketer, or you have represented school in cricket competition, it is worth flaunting. Definitely put that. Simple rule that if you think it is worth flaunting, put it in your resume. Okay. Let's take the next question. If one doesn't have any rank, what to write in remark session? Naman, that's a good question. Don't write anything. You can just mention maybe how many exemptions you got in how many subjects. That is something which will be needed there. Okay. Cool, guys. So I think there are a lot of questions. I am so sorry, but in the interest of time, I won't be able to take all the questions which are there. But feel free to just reach out to me on my email. I'll just drop in my email as well, kushal@kagr.club. And if there is any other queries that you have regarding the Articleship Accelerator program, please feel free to reach out to my team as well. And all the resume things that I mentioned about the LinkedIn profile, we are going to teach in detail, so don't worry about that. So cool. Thank you so much for joining this session. If you do like this session, we'll just share a small screenshot of this on the WhatsApp group as well. If you liked it, then please do share it on your social media, tag us on LinkedIn, tag KAGR, or tag me, and I'll be more than happy to engage on your post as well. So thank you so much for this, and looking forward to having all of you in the program as well. Thank you so much once again. Bye. Bye, everyone. Hope you liked the session.